today's project, we're going to explore the element of art known as space, how to create the illusion of depth on a two-dimensional piece of paper. And both today's exercise and the follow-up major project all are going to incorporate an art form known as collage, cutting and gluing pieces of paper onto another piece of paper or surface. Today's featured artist is the Native American artist Joan Hill. Joan was born in 1930 and passed away just last year in 2020. She is one of our nation's foremost Native American artists, and she's known for some of her minimalistic paintings with larger figures in the front, smaller figures in the back, creating that illusion of space and depth and emphasis. So some of the key terms that we're going to be learning about with this project are emphasis, overlapping, collage, space, and repetition. Check out the link below to find out more about the artist Joan Hill and to see her artwork. After you've done that, let's get started. To get started with this project, we want to look at the artwork of the artist Joan Hill. We want to especially look at the painting Women's Voices at the Council that is in your direction sheet. This is a perfect example of how to use the element of space within a composition. We see several figures in the foreground, and the proportion of these figures is large, as if they're close to us, and there is some overlap amongst the figures. In the background, we see three other figures, much smaller in proportion, and they appear to be in the distance. So this composition is asymmetrically balanced, and it perfectly shows you the element of space and depth. The first thing you want to do is read all of the directions carefully. Know where you're going with your project so that you can be more successful in the creation of it from beginning to end. So we are going to perhaps do a Google search for silhouette figure in action or silhouette animal and search those images and work out your idea in your sketchbook. Create one main figure, either human or animal, to be repeated in 2 to 3 different sizes. Plan your composition in your sketchbook and then get that approved. You'll want to do like Joan Hill did in her painting, where the larger figures are closer to the bottom of your composition and the smaller figures are further towards the top, and the larger figures occupy one side of the painting and the smaller figures occupy the other side of the painting. Once your idea has been approved, begin drawing your figures or animals on the colored construction paper you've selected and then cut them out. To save time, you'll want to draw one and then cut through 2 to 3 sheets of paper. Once all of your pieces have been cut out, then you're going to arrange them on the larger paper and glue them into place with overlapping. For my artwork, I decided to focus on figures in dance. So I first searched several pictures of dancers and selected a few to explore. I decided to focus on these 2 figures here, and I made a few reductions on the Xerox machine and traced them and cut them out. So now the next step is for me to trace and cut them out from the construction paper and then arrange them on my good copy paper here. I've got 2 pieces of darker paper for my figures that will be in the foreground, that will be closer to the viewer, and I've selected lighter colored paper for the smaller figures that will be in the background. and further away. Generally speaking, in art, darker colors tend to come forward in your artwork, whereas lighter colors tend to recede. Once I've finished cutting out all of my figures, then I'm going to arrange them on my paper until I'm pleased with the way it looks, and then I'm ready to glue them down. I like to add just a little bit of water to my glue to make it a little easier to spread. It's less clumpy, and I use a glue brush for this process. Again, it's easier and you're able to get every bit of the back of your paper covered in glue in a nice flat way. Today we're going to be introduced to the artist Joan Hill. I look down. Check out the link below to find out more about the artist Joan Hill and to see her